Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an exclusive interview with the Australian High Commissioner, Pt.4. High Commissioner, can you accept that as a result of what seems like 1 year of increasing attacks on Indians in Australia, your country's image in India has been badly damaged?
I certainly accept that our image in India has taken a beating. I don't think you can go through the intensity of this negative media coverage in India and not take damage. We're dealing here with perceptions, and if the perception that's being conveyed is that Australia is an unsafe country or a country which is targeting Indians, sure, that's going to do us damage, and it worries me that that's the case.
Look at the sort of advice that was recently issued by the Indian government to Indian students in Australia. Don't travel alone, they say. Keep to well-lit and populated areas. Inform others of your plans. Make sure others know when you expect to return. Doesn't it embarrass you that people who are guests and visitors to your country should be given this sort of advice? Because without this advice, people fear in India they won't be safe.
Karan, this sort of advice is given regularly by governments to their citizens. Australia issues numerous travel advisories relating to many countries, providing information and advice to their citizens. They're precautionary measures, and I have absolutely no difficulty with what the Indian government has put out. It has made a judgment about what would be useful information to Indian students. I think that's entirely appropriate.
You're speaking there, of course, as a diplomat. Let me quote you once again, your friend, and I'm sorry to keep bringing up your friend, the foreign editor of the Australian, Greg Sheridan. He says, in India, the Australian government could not have got a worse result if it had spent $1 billion on a negative publicity campaign.
Well, it's just reinforcing the point that I agreed with, which is that we have taken a dip in our image.
More than just a dip, haven't you? Suddenly, in Indian eyes, Australia has become an unsafe country. It was a desirable place to go on holiday. It was a country that we looked up to as one of the great cricket-playing nations of the world. Suddenly, it's become unsafe.
Well, there may be some perceptions that it's become unsafe, but I think the reality, as we've already been discussing, is actually quite different. And I see part of my job here in Delhi to convey the reality of Australia to the best of my ability.